What is up, everyone? We are here today. We're actually doing another install video, and it's actually not on this bike right here. This bike is almost finished with everything we've done to it. So since I've done so much work to these things, this and my M, I was like, you know what, I need to start doing this for other people. Like, I tear these bikes down so quick. I literally have had this bike apart like 5-6 different times doing upgrades on it. Same with the M. I could literally do it in my sleep. So I was like, you know what, let's reach out to people that have these things and see if they want me to work on them. Why not, right? Make a little extra money. They save a ton of money because they ain't having a shop do it. So as you can see right here behind me, I got a bunch of freaking goodies. So let's see what we have in store for today's video. We have a Brentuning handheld, velocity stacks, the air intake sensor, flapper delete, and of course the Sprint air filter. So what's all these goodies for then, right? We got the S1000 over there. I don't have the M here. It's gone at the moment. You can see a couple pieces, a little sneak peek. I've already got it apart. It's red. Let's see what we got today, guys. This very gorgeous 23 S1000RR. It's my first time having my hands on these things, and I freaking love it. It is slower than can be because it's in stock form, but it is still so much freaking fun. The guy brought it to me and he's like, man, I got all these upgrades. I don't have the time to do it. He works too much. He's like, you know what? I'll drop it off at your house. You can have it for a whole week. You can install everything. You can ride it. Have a heyday with it. But whenever he gets it back, he wants this thing to be an absolute beast. And that's what we're going to do for him. So I've already got it started here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I've already got it taken apart. So as it comes sitting in here, everything's going to be in here. So you got the side panel, you got the fuel tank, the side panels, and the airbox cover. I've already removed all that. Super easy. Nothing hard about it. But as this sits, it's going to sit about right there. You're going to have a screw here, screw here, screw here, one here, one here, and one here. Then you got the wiring harness that comes off. There is a plug right down there, which is currently unplugged. Just make sure you unplug that. This one right here also goes right up under there. Make sure you unplug that. Each one of these here, there's 4. Unplug them. Then for this down here, this is why I started the video when I did, because I'm getting ready to pull the airbox off, and this is pretty much my last step. I just take a screwdriver right at the corner, hopefully it shows, right at the corner, and just push it, and it comes right off. I gotta be careful, it's kind of warm because I just read this thing. But this will come in, it'll be pinched together, and literally just push that clip and it'll pop apart, and then you can just get your little screwdriver in here, and that just slides right off. So once that's off, make sure I don't lose this. Oh, that's warm. So how I like to do this real quick, just because everybody asks me how I keep everything so organized. Bolts down there, they're all the exact same, just for this panel here. 3 bolts there for the airbox cover, and I keep the seat bolt right there, right inside the seat. That's how I keep the parts. Fuel tank, I literally put the nuts and bolts. Fuel tank 1, 2, and I just be careful because this just slides in and out. But I do have that just sitting in there. So once we're to this part, also this will plug into here. You'll have this hose, and I've already removed it, but this hose here will go into the fuel tank. Remove this stuff out of the way. Wiring harness will just come. I just like to fold it back just like this. It's super sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to fall on the floor. It sits just like that. No issues whatsoever. Airbox. Airbox. One on the other side there, and just on the other side. And then this connector here, and the bottom one. And then the airbox will... Oh, and there's this one here. I forgot about that one. Now I'm going to pause the video right here and try to pull this airbox off because I can't do it one-handed. And this should just pop right off there. And Alrighty, a couple things I forgot. Since this is a brand new bike, there is a zip tie, literally like right here, that holds this on. That will come out, pull this out of its little slot here. Then, of course, your like injectors. I forgot. I usually do this as soon as I do the airbox with the rest of the bolts. There's 4 bolts along here. Just literally unscrew them, pull them out, that just comes out, and then literally your airbox will come right out of there. Good lordy, there's a lot of oil in there. A lot of oil in there. Way more than I was expecting for 1,000 miles on this bike. Good lord. There's a little bit of oil that came out. Let's get that all cleaned up. And that's it. Alright, so far got the flapper delete here. Ended up removing the flappers, the velocity stacks, and then this terrible air filter that you can't see through. And then on over here, got the airbox with the beautiful blue velocity stacks. Got them installed. The air filter, and yeah, these are super tight to get in. I don't remember them being that tight whenever I installed mine. These are super tight getting in here. And then this ring, you just start on this side here where it's flat, and you just work it around the edge and just pop that on there. And then for over here, flapper delete, remove the flappers, 2 plugs, 1 plug there in the corner, and then the block off plate there. And that's pretty much it. Now it's ready for reinstall. Got everything done. I usually put my bolts back in the same places so I don't lose them. Be sure not to touch these with your fingers. Do not touch those. Your oils will get on there and could cause issues. Meant to mention that earlier and I forgot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Gonna throw this thing back together. And alright, before I forget, I noticed whenever I was recording that very last, I think it was like the very last clip, and I was talking about the bolts, there was 2 right up here for the air inlet right here. I had these black bolts, this one and that one there. I realized that whenever I was picking my bolts up over here to install them, whenever I was putting them back in the places where they were supposed to go, I grabbed the 2 black ones and put them up there on accident. The 2 black ones do not go up there. They are like the silverish like color. The 2 black ones go down here. So if you were watching my video and like going through, do not put the black ones up there. They're too short. They do not fit. The shorter ones go here and on the other side. So now that we have this all back together, make sure that this clips in here and then that clips in there. Then you have the 2 screws go back in. I'm getting ready to tidy this back up here, but I first want to show you there is this plug here, which I haven't done yet. Plug that back in, click, this one's back in. That block off plate, you can see it has the Brentuning symbol right there. It's like a quarter turn counterclockwise, and it just pops out. This is your wire for that. As you see here, I've already removed it and plugged it in, and then this wiring harness will plug into here, and I'll just run it through, and I'll show you guys in the next clip how I run that up to the front. But this is how I'm pretty much going to leave it for the day. Got everything plugged back in for that piece down there. I literally, for this piece here, pair of pliers and literally just pinched it back together. This works really well because of how it's angled. I can get in there really, really well and they grip it. That can be a real pain if you do not have the right tool to crimp that back and put that back on. This can be a real pain. First time I didn't have a good pair of pliers and it was a real pain in the butt to get that off, for one, and because I didn't know how it worked, and 2, putting it back together because I didn't have a good pair of pliers. And that's pretty much it. Everything's good to go. Everything's plugged back in here, I gotta do here still, which is literally just right here. And then just gotta run that cord up to the front. Do it. And then just gotta run the thing up to the front and literally setting the fuel tank back on, and that part of the project is done. Alrighty, so I ended up continuing because, you know, I can't freaking stop doing these things. I absolutely freaking love doing it. So I ended up tearing the whole front end apart, and there's the piece that goes here. There's like one bolt there, one bolt right there, and then the little middle piece comes out so you can get to these two bolts. So then you take these two bolts out, these two bolts out here, take your mirrors off, and they unplug from here. And then you got to be very careful because you don't want to break these tabs. So slide, you'll have to grab around on the side here, pull this way, and shimmy it forward. Same with this side, grab here and shimmy it forward, and the nose will come off. And as you can see, got the entire nose section there already pulled off. Oh, I don't remember. So, see if I can do this. Let's see. 30 seconds. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. There you go. That's the bit I used to drill the hole. And what I do is I go through the top here, drill the hole, and then very carefully you gotta like move it around or move it like this, or just push one direction if it's not like a perfect circle, and that way you can get that through all the way. And actually you can see it pretty well back there. I'll zoom in a little bit with this cord. So then it's perfectly flush there. And then on the bottom side you can see the green, kind of see the green O-ring there. You got to remove the O-ring, push it through the hole, and then slide the O-ring. That's why you got to take this whole freaking nose ring, or the whole front section off here, because you got to be able to put that O-ring back on. Don't try to force it through the top. Just take a couple bolts off the front nose here and reach your hand. You got plenty of room in here to reach up and slide that O-ring back on, and then literally put this thing back together. So what I'm going to do, got my sensor ran here. I'm going to run it under here. I'm going to zip tie it to the wire there. Now in the 2023s, you're going to have this sensor here. 20s to 22s, you do not have that sensor there, so you don't have to worry about getting in the way, but just zip tie it here, run it back behind this wiring, and there's multiple ways you can do it. Run it through here, like I'm going to do, and then out, up, and then here, or you can even run along the edge here, and there's plenty of spot to get down in here. So there's the nice neat way through here, or you can still run it nice and neat through here, and then up, and then right to there. Alrighty, we're about to wrap up this video. As you can tell, we got all the front end put back together. Nice and good. Everything's nice and tight. There's a little like slot in here where this will slide into on both sides, and then just the bolt. Putting that thing back together is a little hard because you have to pull these out and then slide the two pins in, and then plus the line here and then the bottom. So it's a little harder putting it back on, but not too bad. And then I ran the cord for now. I ran it from here. I have a zip tie here. Ran it back behind this wiring here, and it won't get in the way. I will have to make sure that this doesn't catch. So I'm going to have to, whenever I test ride and turn the bars here in a minute, I want to make sure this doesn't catch. So run it back behind there, and then goes in behind there. I actually ran it, for right now, I ran it down here and then up, and then right, this is that cord right here, goes up. Where I'm gonna run it is right through where these two wires are for the canister. I'm actually going to run it right through there instead and go up through here. I'm not done with the upgrades on this bike just yet for this customer, so I'm going to have to take the airbox and a couple other things back off for some other upgrades. So whenever I do that, then I'll rerun the wire and tidy that up once I get these wires removed out of the way. So that being said, this is pretty much the end of the video. I'm getting ready to throw the fuel tank back on and side panels, and that's done. It took me about 3 hours to do all this. Took me forever for the front because there's a lot to run that wire. Everything else is super easy. But yeah, it took me about a total of 3 hours to do this start from finish. That will only take me about like literally maybe 10 or 15 minutes to throw all that back together. It's not a lot there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was very detailed, and it's your normal stuff, guys. Nothing spectacular. Literally T30, T27, 3/8 drive ratchet, 1/4 inch drive ratchet. I don't remember what I used this for, but it was a 5 for Allen, and then your T25 as your normal thing for BMWs. Some side cuts, zip ties, 13 wrench, some pliers, a drill, or an impact, and I also use this too for the mirrors. This worked phenomenal to get into there for the mirrors on both sides. Worked great. Just bought this tool, so it's nice to be able to use it. But yeah, nothing spectacular on tools, guys. Super easy. Nothing really needed for it. There's a couple other things. Yep, needle nose pliers, the 10 socket for the mirrors, and the T20. Oh yeah, T20. That was the other one I was missing, T20. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you guys did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. There will be so much more footage coming on this beautiful 2023 S1000RR, so stay tuned for that, guys. Actually, before I end this video, at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will be doing a giveaway. So we're at 70, I believe. I think we're down to like the last 60. Last 60, I believe. And we'll be doing a giveaway. I will also have a Patreon going live, actually with this video. So I will have a Patreon that you guys can go subscribe to, as little as, I think, $5 all the way up to, if you want to know my dirty little secrets and stuff I don't post on YouTube about what I do to these awesome machines here, it's going to go all the way up to $25 on Patreon. But there's also numbers in between there, guys, and a lot of benefits and stuff like that that you will get also from my Patreon. But yeah, 1,000 subs on YouTube, and we'll have a giveaway of like $1,000 worth of stuff, or $1,300 worth of stuff. So stay tuned for that. Catch you guys in the next one.